The Houthis have announced that they are not, or they've announced to us at least, that they don't want to fight anymore. We will stop the bombings, and they have capitulated.
I think it probably was fairly surprising because the Houthi slogan is very clear. It includes death to America.
Après un mois et demi de frappes intensives américaines au Yémen, un cessez-le-feu a été annoncé mardi 6 mai entre les Houthis et les États-Unis.
Perhaps more surprising is that the Americans agreed to this without specifically making Israel part of the deal with the Houthis.
On fait le point sur la situation avec Elizabeth Kendall, professeure à l'université de Cambridge.
I think there are 4 areas that we need to be a bit wary of in the ceasefire. The first is that Israel is apparently not part of this. So the Houthis have ostensibly agreed to stop launching missiles and drones at shipping in the Red Sea. And that was one of the United States' stated war aims. So, okay, that's done. But it doesn't say anything about whether they'll stop launching them at Israel. The second thing to think about is that there are, of course, anti-Houthi forces inside Yemen. They, of course, are still technically in a civil war against the Houthis. So having America now pull back doesn't help them. And, of course, the 2 other things, number 3, the Houthis will certainly frame this as a victory. And so it could even empower them. And lastly, let's remember that the Houthis do have a history of reneging on deals. So I'm not holding my breath for this to work.
Mais c'est bien maintenant l'affrontement entre Houthis et Israël qui retient l'attention.
It's possible that that will now go on because it's not obviously in this ceasefire between the Houthis and the United States. And it's such a fundamental part of what the Houthis claim to be standing for. If there's no ceasefire in Gaza, and there isn't, there's in fact an expansion of the Israeli campaign in Gaza, then we will continue to target Israel. So that's where we are. I would expect to see more. In launching this campaign against the Houthis, of course, the United States has wrapped up a lot of its reputation and of its military hardware and its run-down munitions stocks. And it's cost a huge amount of money, well over $1.5 billion in the last 7 weeks. That's probably an underestimate. So it's not been a very glorious show by the United States. I think that this ceasefire is probably an attempt on the part of the United States to stop it from becoming a forever war. The Houthis have always exercised a degree of autonomy from Iran. The Houthis probably saw the demise of Hamas and Hezbollah not so much as a distraction and a disappointment, but also as a bit of an opportunity for them, because they were able to position themselves in a more leadership role within the axis of resistance. They have managed to increase their standing on 3 levels: domestically, regionally, and internationally. On the domestic level, definitely they won greater support and they revived their very war-weary base inside Yemen by standing up for the Palestinians. It worked well for them regionally too, because they appeared to be pretty much the only Arab government, albeit not an internationally recognized government, that was doing something tangible against Israel. And then, of course, internationally, they got massive media attention. They were in the spotlight. Now everybody knows about the Houthis. And so it's worked for them on those 3 levels.